Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hello, 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 hello. How are you today? How are you doing today? How are you feeling? How is everyone? So, this is going to be the Earth Signs reading for the week. These readings, of course, are timeless, so if you find it at a later date, hopefully it will resonate with you then. The decks that I'm using this week, I have this miniature Major Arcana deck that I bought on Etsy. I love it very much, so I'll be using this deck. This is a deck of playing cards illustrated by the artist Valfrey, and I will be using these as clarifiers for the Major Arcana cards. So the format of the readings this week is slightly different from the usual Celtic cross that I do. I'm going to be drawing 3 Major Arcanas for past, present, and future, and then each one of those cards gets 3 clarifiers. And then when I go over to the extended, this is the crystal that I am using for the extended crystal scrying video this week. So you are cordially invited, but of course your presence is appreciated in whatever form it takes. I do also want to mention that I do give personal readings, I do videos, I do written reports. That is all available on my website. I am about to increase the cost of the videos. The written reports will stay the same price. So, to start out, I'm just going to kind of fluff up your energy, brushing it with this selenite wand. Selenite is a really wonderful compound crystal in that it does not require cleansing of itself. It transmutes energy. We're just going to do a little bit of brushing, so if you would like, you can take some nice deep cleansing breaths. You could close your eyes or you can have your eyes open, whatever you prefer. And just gonna pop a few of these little bubbles here. Lovely, 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 lovely. So now we're going to get started. And we're going to start with the sign of Taurus. So Taurus, if you would like, just relax and allow any thoughts, anything you'd like resolved, to float up to the forefront of your mind and wait there patiently while we deal the Now I'm going to deal out the clarifiers. If any of the things that are troubling you are causing too much tension or anxiety, go ahead and just breathe through that tension. As you inhale, imagine the divine white light of Source filling your entire body through the crown of your head, down through the soles of your feet and into the ground below. And then as you exhale, just release any of that tension and anxiety and allow it to return to Source to be transmuted. All right, Taurus. So let's see what is going on here today with you. I'm going to write down your timestamp. And I always put those in the description after the live stream is concluded. So Taurus, here in the past for you, we have the Moon card. And the Moon can be about artistic endeavors. It can also be about a path that is fraught on both sides by danger, and which can be a bit unclear. We do have these dogs on either side. It is known that at some point the sun will rise and the path will become much more clear. So the Moon is also a very transitional energy. Transitional, not very concrete, not very firm. Very much the land of illusions. So this would have been a time that you were occupying in the past. The first clarifier that we have for the past is the Five of Wands. And this card is very much about creative competition among a group. So more like the kind of competition where people are kind of practicing against each other, practicing and training their skills against each other, as one would do with fighting in a boxing gym. We're not talking about the combat part, we're talking about the sparring and the training. There can be some cattiness to this. There can be some crabs in a bucket mentality that if one person is rising above the others, oh, hi, Kayla's lovely. Thank you for coming. Hello. Happy Thursday. That others might try to take them down a peg. But really the main focus is on that kind of competitively creative atmosphere. Yes, I just started Taurus. So you got here at the perfect time. The second clarifier that I have for the past position is the Six of Swords. So you might have relocated. You might have gotten a job offer that pulled you somewhere else. And it could have been an actual move, but it could have just been moving from one position to another. And wouldn't necessarily have been a lateral move, but also wouldn't have been um, like a huge promotion. It would have been, like a minor promotion or a lateral move type situation, probably. Um, and it might have been a bit unclear, some of the job responsibilities, if this is about work. If it's about creativity um, or an artistic endeavor, that Six of Swords could have been moving to a city where they do more of those things that could make you successful. New York and LA have a reputation for that, of course, but there are many cities all over the world where that are artistic centers, shall we say. So, along with that Five of Wands, we also have the Nine of Wands, guarding what you already have. This can be kind of a defensive nature, not as much so as the Seven of Wands, although that is the obvious gap here, right? We've got the Five of Wands, we've got the Nine of Wands. The implication being that that Seven of Wands could be here in this situation as well. It could be a college degree also. So in the past, starting at a college, it could be anything from an undergrad to like master's or doctorate program, really. And some of these programs can be very competitive. So I see a lot of competitive energy here. I do see some relocation, so that a lot of people do move for college too. Let's move on to the present situation. So in the current situation, we have the World card. And the World, this is a fixed energy. It is an energy of concretion through Saturn and elemental Earth. It is also an energy of completion, wrapping everything up in a nice little bow. This dancer here in the center of the card, their movements drive the action of the earth. So, not just the way that the world turns, but also all of the actions that occur on the planet itself. So, this could be completing a degree, if that is what the reading was about for you. It could also be getting settled in to the new position to which you have moved. So I'm getting a lot of more like career energy, job energy. It could be retirement for some of you in the current situation. The clarifiers for this, we have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands can be buying a house, it can be getting married. It is a reason for celebration. So the Four of Wands can be the celebration itself. It could be graduation, it could be buying a house, getting married, all kinds of things like that that drive a celebration or require a celebration. The second clarifier that we have here is the Two of Clubs, the Two of Wands. And this card is very much about vision boarding, planning. So now that you have reached this particular landmark, milestone in your journey, now it's time to plan for what comes next. So certainly if this is college graduation, this is you getting ready to enter the workforce. If you had gotten promoted or moved to take another job, that now you are planning what your next move is going to be. You always want to try to be, somewhat mobile in your job. You don't want to get too comfortable. You don't want to assume that what you're doing now is what you're always going to be doing. You want to be contributing to the growth, because that's how you make yourself indispensable. And the third clarifier that I have here for the current situation is the Three of Pentacles. This is a wonderful card to get here in this overall environment, because it shows that you are taking part in group projects, and that also you have a good reputation among your peers. So that whatever you choose to do going forward, you will be able to count on your references and have lots of good references when you go on to the next thing. So now, Taurus, let's talk about the future. The future, the future. We have the fixed energy of the Star card. This is fellow fixed sign Aquarius. So we had this fixed energy coming in with the World card, which is very good, and elemental earth. So that would be very much aligned with your energy, Taurus. And now we have this fellow fixed air sign, the Star card. This is about hopes and dreams being realized. And because we had this Three of Pentacles coming out, we can also look at it too as expansion of social groups in a way that will help you out, that will bring benefit, that will bring new opportunities into your life. So these things are all part and parcel with each other. It's not like they exist in a vacuum. Even an overnight success that looks like it sprung out of nowhere did not incubate in a vacuum, so to speak, right? Could have incubated in an echo chamber, but probably not in a vacuum. So along with this, we have an interesting card here for the future. And I don't know if this is rooted in some ideas that are very hard for you to shake, Taurus. We have the Five of Pentacles showing up, which is about feelings of lack and feelings of inadequacy. There are a few cards that I kind of use to denote imposter syndrome. So sometimes when the Seven of Swords comes up in a tarot reading, that can indicate self-deception, and that can be imposter syndrome. And in a reading like this one, I might also think of this as imposter syndrome. And I'll show you why, because when you see the next couple of cards, you'll realize that this really isn't anything to worry about at all. But the Five of Pentacles does indicate feelings of lack, feelings of being left out in the cold. The Five of Pentacles could also be thoughts in the future about what could have been. Like, I chose this particular path, and because I have, other certain things are closed off to me. Now, what I see here, though, more in this reading, I don't see like Seven of Cups or Four of Cups, any of these cards that indicate multiple options. What I see instead is someone who is very self-directed and very self-driven, such that if you choose not to go down a certain path, that was an active choice that you were making. And it wasn't necessarily that these other doors that were open are now closed. It's more like that you walked down the hallway and you knew which specific doors you wanted to knock upon in order to talk to the people inside. Very self-directed energies in this reading, so I would think that might be more talking about imposter syndrome. And I say that because the second two clarifiers for the star card, in the future we have the Queen of Pentacles, and we also have the Eight of Pentacles. So where we have this Queen of Pentacles showing up, that is a fertile proliferation of resources. And there certainly is not going to be any lack associated with this, because it will be more of a self-proliferating resource. It can be things like passive income, multiple streams of income. And we do have the Eight of Pentacles here as well. So the Eight of Pentacles represents long-term career goals being achieved, and can also represent multiple passive streams of income. So having all of these things at your disposal. The Five of Pentacles in this case too, because we're looking at, with your reading, Taurus, aspects of your relationships with other people, right? With the Three of Pentacles and with the Star card here. That it might be that while you are very successful at creating these resources or drawing these resources to yourself, because that is one thing about the Queen of Pentacles, is that you have that passive energy of water, that you might be at a loss when it comes to helping others to do what you have done. And they kind of say, like, well, those who can't do, teach. And those who are very good at doing usually are not the ones who either would be the best ones to teach, because maybe they don't know how to describe what they did. And they're also very busy with their own work. So, moving forward, I would not worry too much about that, Taurus. Whatever it is that you want to do, you will be able to do it. You might be having feelings of inadequacy now, and that is the one thing that I would work on moving forward into the future, because I think that's probably the only thing that's going to be holding you back in any way, shape, or form. And even then, not that much. All right, Taurus. So that is going to conclude your reading for this week. And I do want to mention that after this video has concluded, I will be going over to the member side of the channel to do the extended crystal scrying. You are cordially invited, but your presence is appreciated in any form that it takes. So thank you for coming today. So now we're going to be moving on to the sign of Virgo. And Virgo, if you would, just kind of gently allow any thoughts, any things that you'd like to know more about to float up to the forefront of your consciousness. And just simply allow these things to wait there patiently while we lay out the cards. And if you find anything about them, these issues in your life, stressful or panic-inducing, just gently breathe through that energy. Gently inhale and draw in the divine white light of Source from the crown of the head. Feel it travel throughout your body, down through the soles of your feet, and into the ground below. And then as you exhale, just breathe out any of that stress, that tension that you're holding on to. Allow it to be returned to source, and it will be transmuted. So now I'm going to lay out the playing card clarifiers for the reading. And then I will write down your timestamp. And we can get started. Want to give them a fairly good shuffle. These cards shuffle really easily. All right. Yeah, that feels right. All right. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to write down your timestamp now. All right, Virgo. So let's look here at the past position. In the past, we do have the Hanged Man. And this card can be about feeling like you're in stasis. This would make sense considering recent past events. The Hanged Man is elemental water as well. So that mutable part of Virgo. The Hanged Man can also be associated with self-sacrifice that is intended for the greater good. And often that means holding parts of oneself back in some way. So that could have been something you were doing in the past, Virgo. We have the Four of Cups here. So the Four of Cups is having a handful of choices. This would not be the proliferation of choices that you see with the Seven of Cups, but rather having a good, solid handful of choices. And what typically is happening at that time when you have this good, solid handful of choices is you're sitting there with all of them and kind of evaluating, weighing the pros and cons. Which of these would be really well suited to me? And which should I overlook or leave behind? So that would very much fit into that Hanged Man energy. So in that case, it would probably not be self-sacrifice. It would probably be taking some time to evaluate all of these options. The second clarifier that we have is the Jack of Pentacles. So this can be money coming in. It could also be a job offer. So you could have had a few different job offers, a few different income streams coming in. Nothing maybe big enough, but enough to kind of keep things rolling the way that you would like them to be. And the third clarifier that we have for the past is the Three of Wands. So things that you have put out into the world, then starting to show a return. That's very interesting in the context of these cards, especially with the Hanged Man and the Four of Cups. such that even though you were kind of in a period of stasis, perhaps you had some things that you were still working on, and that it was part of this evaluation of your options. So let's move now to the current situation. Here in the current situation, we have the High Priestess. The High Priestess has aspects of duality in that the number of this card is 2. The High Priestess kind of has reached that equilibrium between the pillars of mercy and severity. She is very closely aligned to the energy of the moon, and by proxy, then, the water signs, specifically Cancer, which is the ruling planet of the moon, and Pisces. Pisces is the moon card in the major arcana. But Scorpio could also be tied into this energy as well. There's a lot to do with secrets. There's a lot to do with hidden knowledge and a direct communion between the High Priestess and the higher power and source, directly receiving messages from source. So that could be something that is going on for you in the current situation, Virgo. We have the Four of Pentacles. Oh, Juliana, thank you. I'm glad it resonated with you. Thank you for coming today. So the Four of Pentacles is about holding on to resources. This can be money. It can be about retirement accounts. It can be about residuals, royalties, somewhat to do with passive streams of income, but not the kind that show regular dividends in an increasing fashion. This would be something that would help you hold steady during times when money is perhaps a little more scarce. The Four of Pentacles can also be holding onto your energy as a resource. Oh, hi, Captain Holtz. Thank you for coming. It's good to see you. Yes, we've just gotten about halfway through the Virgo reading, so I haven't gotten to the future yet, and everybody knows that's the most exciting part. With the High Priestess here, you could have secret reserves also of money and resources. There might be things that you are even hiding from yourself so that you don't spend them. We have the Five of Swords here in the current situation. And the Five of Swords is a combative environment. There could be strife around you, but also, as this is a general reading, this could just be speaking in general to the amount of combativeness, polarization, and yes, millionaire gang that is all around us in society at this particular time. So it could be about that as well. But it could be about aspects of your own personal life that are particularly combative, or work life, personal life. And sometimes these are all part and parcel of that same energy that people get very polarized by these world issues, and they bring that into the workplace, they bring that into the home, they start talking to people about opinions, and it can create a very polarized and combative atmosphere. We also have here in the current situation the Two of Pentacles, that things are balancing out for you. This can be balancing a checkbook. This can be balancing the black with the red, money-wise. The Two of Pentacles can also be about forging a business partnership with somebody. So this could be a person with whom you are getting ready to start a new business. This could be somebody who has told you about investment opportunities or some other way of bringing in money that the two of you are going to be going into that venture together. And again, we have this idea of the duality that we saw with the High Priestess. This could also be tied in with that hidden information. You could be privy to hidden information, or you could have struck a very good balance between mercy and severity yourself that makes you less prone to polarization, such that no matter what way you encounter it, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's based on what's going on in the world around, that you are able to keep a very level head, even keel. You have these reserves. So let's see where we're going to go next, Virgo. Ooh, scary. I'm just kidding. It's the Death card. The Death card isn't particularly scary. It just means transformation and change. And a lot of people do find that scary. But it just opens up these potentials for the future. Obviously, you don't want everything to just stagnate, especially if you're not particularly happy with where you're at the current moment. You want change to open up new possibilities, and especially where things like this are concerned, that you can just blow that right out of your life. So we have the Death card showing that there's going to be a change. We have the Eight of Wands, and of all the cards of endings in the tarot, the Eight of Wands is probably the best. Basically what it's saying: hi, countries of the world, thank you for coming. Happy Thursday. I guess the World card would be a slightly better ending, but without arguing too much about semantics. The Eight of Wands is closure. It is a finite ending with closure, usually happens very quickly. So there could be some situation that brings all of that current situation, all of the past and current situations. Oh, yeah, you should tell me about it. I would love to hear about the YouTube channel. So what comes next? We do have the King of Pentacles here, which is, of course, very promising for future money situations. We didn't have anything in the prior cards to really say that we were set up financially, right? So we have the King of Pentacles now coming in the future, and this could be part of this very drastic transformation and change. That King of Pentacles is somebody who might be fixed energy. It is the oppositional elements of air and earth combined into one person or one situation, one energy. Oh, that's very interesting. I'm sure some of my glove viewers would like that channel a lot. Maybe, but I'm actually more into like the ASMR stuff. The reason that I wear gloves is because I like to keep my nails short and I chew on my cuticles. And so rather than having to deal with nails or having my cuticles not bleeding, I just wear gloves. And it didn't occur to me that that was a fetish community until I started doing it. But thank you for the recommendation, and I'm sure that some of the viewers would love to see that channel. So the final card for your reading today, Virgo, it's very interesting. And if you are looking for love, whether you are looking for man, woman, non-binary person, it is the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Hearts. So this is very good for love. It could be a potential partner. This is water of water energy. And you know, as they say, still waters run deep. And so there are aspects of this that are very similar to this high priestess energy, right? There are also aspects of this that are complementary to this King of Pentacles. Someone who's very established, very logical. Oh, have a good time, countries of the world. It's always good to see you. And then this passive energy of the Queen of Cups. So this also being the combination of these not opposed forces, but kind of like a marriage of opposites. And this could be within the self. This could be in a union, in a partnership. It could even be a business arrangement. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag for sure. So for you in the future, Virgo, I see potential financial success, and I also see financial partnerships that will be very beneficial to you. But there will be some kind of transformation or change in between. It shouldn't be terribly painful, but now you know and you can prepare. So after the readings are done, I'm going to go over and do the crystal scrying, the extended reading, and this is the crystal I'll be using. You are, of course, cordially invited, but your presence is appreciated in whatever form it takes. So now we're going to move on finally to the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn, if you would like to allow any thoughts and ideas that you'd like to have clarified by the reading. Oh, yeah, you should. Just allow those things to float up to the forefront of your thoughts. If you find those things stressful to you, Capricorn, I invite you to breathe through that tension. As you inhale, imagine your body filling with the divine white light of Source from the crown of your head down through the soles of your feet into the ground below. And then as you exhale, just release any of that tension. Allow it to return to Source, and it will be transmuted. All right, so now I'm going to shuffle and deal the clarifiers. Oh, that's very interesting that you have a Capricorn moon. So you have a lot of earth sign energy in your big three, it sounds like. You do seem like a very grounded person. All right, so let's see what is going on here. For you, Capricorn. Oh yeah, that Scorpio is tricky. I have a Scorpio moon, so I know all about that. It's like, no, I'm definitely totally sane. I'm not crazy at all. And then boom, that moon in Scorpio comes out. All right, so let's start in the past, Capricorn. We have the Temperance card, which has to do with art, mastery. You can see in this deck it is called art. Oh, geez. Yeah, Scorpio rising, just like that Kenneth Anger movie. This can be a period of time in the past where you were practicing a lot, a certain skill, in order to hone and refine and perfect that particular skill. So let's look at the clarifiers related to this. We do have the Three of Swords. Now, the Three of Swords is about argument. It's about discord, disagreement. So not like the Discord server. Ah, okay. Well, welcome back, countries of the world. Thank you. You're just in time for the Capricorn reading. So, related to this Temperance card, it could be that there were situations that took some very delicate handling to be able to navigate. Whether that was disagreements with others, people around you trying to stir up strife or argument. Oh yeah, I love these playing cards. This is the artist Valfrey. Let me see if I can, there we go. Oh, that's cool, countries of the world. My spouse is a Cancer too. I'm actually Leo sun sign. The next card that we have for you, Capricorn, in the clarifiers is the Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is a wish fulfillment card, and it's very interesting that we would have had this kind of situation where there's a lot of argument and strife, but at the same time, some wish being fulfilled. So it is possible, and especially when we have something like the Temperance card here, to have that kind of compartmentalization, that some things could be going not that great, but that other things would be going very well. We also have this Ace of Cups. So this being a card about emotional renewal. And this can be about getting in touch with your higher power. It can be meeting people that are going to transform your life through that communion, that relationship. So it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can be a friendship. It can be a mentorship. But the Ace of Cups often is a realization about something. And it could have been a realization about whatever this was. And that realization and balancing all those things out, leading to this wish fulfillment for you in the past, Capricorn. And this can be all kinds of situations. It could have been a job. It could have been a living situation if you had roommates. It could have been a romantic partnership, business partnership. There's all kinds of scenarios where these kinds of dynamics might take place. So, for the current situation, Capricorn, we have the Hierophant card. And the Hierophant is a religious leader. It can be somebody who acts as an intermediary between the higher power and the populace at large. The Hierophant also represents things like the tradition of marriage, other traditional practices, the status quo, and how our morals on the level of society. So our shared moral compass. There is also a certain amount of balancing between mercy and severity with the Hierophant. But unlike the High Priestess, this is taken out into a much more social scale. The Hierophant is the card of Taurus. So if you have Taurus also in your chart, look at where that is located. Let's look now at the clarifiers for the current situation. We have the Seven of Cups. So lots and lots of options being open to you at this time. You can imagine all of these different eyeballs representing visions of different future possibilities. We have the Joker. So I treat the Jokers in the deck a little bit like the Fool card, in that it is urging you to move forward without a lot of preconceived notions, not bringing your baggage forward into the future as well. So leaving behind anything that is no longer serving you, because with all of these different options, it's only going to weigh you down. We have another 7 coming out here too in the current situation. And that represents an evaluation of the work that you've done versus the amount of payout that you have seen returned to you based on your work, your effort, and the energy put into a project. So that might be how you are evaluating this 7 of Cups. You have all these options, and now you're looking at which of those are going to require more effort than they are worth for me. And looking at these things without a lot of bias or prejudice or preconceived notions, but rather trying to evaluate everything in the most objective manner possible. The Hierophant would be a good energy to bring to this. It is possible that you are praying a lot to get these answers. You could be doing a lot of divination about how to get the right answer in the current situation. It does look like you have, remember in the past we had the Temperance card. So you've put a lot of practice into getting to this point. And let's look now, Capricorn, at the future. So, the future, we have the Justice card. In this deck, it's called Adjustment. This is Libra's card. You might have acquaintance with a Libra. You might have Libra in your chart. Libra is a fellow cardinal sign. The cardinal signs being more inclined toward acting true to the nature. The fixed signs, true to the self. The cardinal signs, true to the nature. And the mutable signs, able to be flexible with the nature and with the self. We have a couple of twos here. I'm going to talk about the Six of Pentacles first. So this Six of Pentacles has to do with the ebb and flow of resources. And it looks like with this Justice card, there is a balancing that is reached here. That you are able to balance the money that's coming in versus the money that's going out. Probably even with enough to share with other people. The Justice card would also indicate that here, where we were looking at situations where the payout we were receiving was not adequate to the amount of energy we were contributing to situations, that is also balancing out at this time. So the evaluation that you're going through at this particular, in the current situation, at this particular time, it looks like it will be paying off in the future. The twos that we have the Three of Cups and I beg your pardon, we have the Two of Cups and we have the Two of Swords. So the Two of Cups is often about romantic partnerships. It can also be an alchemical marriage between two disparate parts of the self. Similar to what we might have seen with this Ace of Hearts here. This Ace of Hearts could also have been meeting somebody who would fulfill this role in your life in the Two of Hearts. Although for those of you who are aromantic or asexual, this could also be somebody who's just a very close personal alliance to you, a very good friend, somebody you can count on. The Two of Swords is a choice, however. So while we don't have the Three of Cups here, we do have the Two of Cups. You could have a choice to get into a relationship. You might be choosing between the relationship and between something else. You could be choosing between two relationships. It could be choosing between a relationship and between expendable income. There is a lot of weighing of options here in the future. And the Two of Swords is very similar in some ways to the Justice card, in that there is that balancing taking place. So Capricorn, that will be your reading for this week. I hope that it resonates with you. I will be going now over to the member side of the channel to do the extended with this geode. I do give personal readings, and that information is down in the description. I will not be soliciting you for personal readings, just so you know. Don't get scammed. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you who have come out today, our moderators, our regulars, our first-time viewers. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Whether you tune in for the live or you watch the video later, I greatly appreciate your support. I hope that you will like, share, and possibly subscribe. And if you want to know when I will be going live, you can ring I look forward to seeing you again very soon.